Okay, morning guys. So we're filming our first heat pump video today, installation. This room is basically the existing boiler, and the heat pump will be going in here. The customer's done a wonderful job of the base, so we're going to start making more YouTube videos over time. Hello, I'm Danny from Julian Bland Limited, and we'll make some more footage of the job as it goes on, and yeah, just keep you updated. Then I'll do a little post video later. Thank you. Yeah. Right. That's where we're up to so far. It's a good day. So we've called through there. We'll wash that down in a little bit just to get rid of the mess. We'll go take a look inside. Okay, so we're inside, and this is the Valence sensor comfort control that we fitted. The details are on there. It's getting a lot of solar gain at the moment, and this room's got various other, things going on. You've got fridge, freezer, solar panel connectors and what have you, and the underfloor heating manifold. So that might have been on this morning when it was a little bit cold, because we're in that climate still where it does get warmer throughout the day. But yeah, so that's the current room temperature. In here, there's no heat demand. All your information, all your settings. We've got the SCOP from the customer showing us 4.8 at the minute, so we're obviously really happy with that. But it is early days, so there's over time that's going to change, but hopefully not too much. Okay, so you may remember before that we had the oil combination boiler in here. And as you can see, there's a lot that's gone in. But everything's in by design. Everything works as it should. Up there you just about see there's a weather compensator that's reading at all times basically what's going on. Okay, so here's the Valence Aerotherm Plus 10 kilowatt. Not a great deal you can see out of it. Pipe work. All insulated around here, insulated through the wall. Need to put a cage on that. But there's the unit. Customer built the base, so we're not taking the credit for that. It's a very good job. We did discuss putting it the other way, but Dan was set in his ways, so we did as we were told. The customer's always right, and we've actually checked and we've got the measurement clearances, so we've got no issues there. All this pipe work, we managed to get the reduce any joints where there might be a heat loss, so that's actually just one continuous piece. We just fed it down the pipe work, then it goes through into there. So we're going to have a look inside the plant room. As you can see, that's where the old boiler was. There's a lot of work's gone into getting everything in there. It looks quite tight, but everything has a place and everything's designed to work as it should do. Currently getting a SCOP of 4.8, which is very good. So we'll look through here. So at the minute we're working on 4.8 for the month. Now we're not under any illusion, it is still quite warm, so we know that that might change, but for now we're obviously very happy with it, and it shouldn't change. We've got the weather comp set up, it's got underfloor heating, so it's on a low profile underfloor heating system. So yeah, all in all, that's the lot. And there she was gone. So bye bye oil. Now been replaced, superseded. You've served well for a long time, but we're now, and if anybody wants to see what the inside of an oil tank looks like, as you can imagine, very boring. There it is. Hi guys, back at the office. I filmed that last segment about a week ago, as you can probably tell. So I thought I'd put some meat on the bones as to explain the job and what's gone on there. So when we went out to see Dan, he had a oil combi in that was knackered. To replace that would have been about £5,000 to £5,500. Dan, obviously, he's got a lot of solar PV on the roof. He's quite clued up. He's a very intelligent guy. So he didn't want that. He just said, I just want to put a heat pump in. So I said, okay, no worries. So we put my quote together. And after the grant, it cost £3,550. And that's everything fitted, including labour, all the rest of it. So we've installed a 10 kilowatt Aerotherm Plus made by Valent and a Valent 300 litre Unistore. We put a 50 litre volumizer in to get some volume for the defrost. It wants quite a lot on these, so basically in the winter months when it gets really, really cold, if it's not been on for whatever reason, or the temperature drops sub-zero, it can start to freeze up outside because there's moisture as part of the extraction process of the energy. It creates like a moisture, a condense, which can freeze up. So what it does is it takes a little bit back out of the system into there. So in order to ensure we had enough volume, we've installed the volumizer. Downstairs, all underfloor heating, radiators upstairs, and like I say, as you can see from the video, he's getting a SCOP, which is seasonal coefficient of performance, of 4.8, which means for every pound of energy he uses, he gets £4.80 worth of energy out. These things are super efficient. This one has like a propane essentially inside it that it boils off at a much lower temperature than water and stuff like that. I don't know the exact figures off the top of my head. I'll find them in a minute. I should remember, but I forgot. So this enables that heat pump to create heat, even they'll work down to -20. We designed that for -5 because it's quite rural and it's in an area that does get quite cold. So it means at -5 outside, he will have 20 degrees inside. Now, I'm sure people that don't like heat pumps would see that as a got you. We can design it to do 22, 23, 24, 25. It doesn't matter. We can design the temperature internally as much as the house will take. So the price, obviously, that's one thing. He was set that he didn't want an oil combi, understandable. He's now benefiting from storing water using his solar PV. So between the months of March, April-ish, we always caveat that because we don't want to get into trouble, but between the months of March to April up to September, October, he will benefit from free hot water for his shower, bathing, washing, hand washing. So where are we at? The job we're quite happy with. There's always things that you can improve on. I'm never fully happy with anything I do. I'm very fortunate years ago to have put jobs on Facebook when I first started out and I was dead enthusiastic, and I'd put the jobs on and people would say, oh, it's brilliant, well done, and I'd see mates and oh, it's incredible, well done, I love that. Well, all I'm thinking is I hope they didn't see that little tiny part that I knew was wrong, or not necessarily wrong, just not quite perfect. So we're always in a quest to try and make things right and make them as best as we can. Sometimes things go amiss, sometimes you don't quite make it, but the main thing is the job's in, or safe, or written off, or signed off with the MCS. Dan's saving a considerable amount of money. He's saving around £20 a week based on his energy bills last year. So using his data that he's got, he's sort of looked at the same period, and he's saving £20 a week. So granted, that could go down over the winter months. It might reduce down to like on parity, which it shouldn't do because of how efficient we've got it. But then of course over the summer months, he's not going to have it at all. Last year when he had the oil combi, between sort of March and September, October, that boiler will have been firing up just to heat hot water, whereas now he doesn't have to. So yeah, if you've got solar PV, it's naturally going to help things, but it's not like mandatory or essential. It just helps. So that's where we're at. The video's not great, I know that, because I'm a plumbing and heating engineer, but there we go. I'm going to try and make them better. We're trying to keep making our work better. If you're in the Cheshire area and you're considering a heat pump, feel free to get in touch. We're all over Google, Check a Trade, Trustpilot, all that sort of thing, so you'll be able to find us quite easy. So yeah, gas, oil, LPG, domestic and commercial, but we are having a big push now to get into the heat pumps and help Brent to become that little bit cleaner, a little bit greener, and hopefully save clients quite a bit of money. Okay, so thank you very much for watching. Stick around, the videos I promise will get better. I might have to actually bring somebody in to help with that, but yeah. All right, thank you, bye bye.